Hello again everyone, welcome back to ptet.chemistry channel. So this is the last work tutorial, work 3 for the Redox changes for the combined science 14 to 16 years old curriculum, also known as foundation science or elementary science, which combine the 3 natural sciences into one subject for this 14 to 16 years old chemistry curriculum. In this first question, we have two reactions, A and B. We have metals and non-metals reacted together. So the metals here is just magnesium, but they don't mention the non-metal. So the non-metals here are basically the A. The A, which is a mixture as we know it. It contains mostly nitrogen gas as this diatomic molecule, and also contain oxygen, which is the reactive species that will react with magnesium, not the nitrogen, which remains unreactive, whereas the oxygen is going to be the one which likes to react with metal. So this is reactive with metals. Now what happens in nitrogen is you have a lot of it, around 78%. This is from lower secondary science and also general knowledge, as well as your geography lessons. If you total out the percentage, you still have 1% other gases, which include carbon dioxide and other gases. Well, that's why they call it other gases there, okay? So the fact that magnesium reacts with the A, and that is basically the oxygen in the A that reacts. So the magnesium is the metal. It reacts with this non-metal oxygen, and you get this white solid, which is an ionic compound. Ionic compound formed between a metal atom, and this non-metal is going to be Mg2 plus and O2 minus. If you look at the charges, these are the valency. That's what you call valency, or the combining power in year 9 chemical formula. And then when you crisscross it or cross multiply of the valency, it means how many do you have, but this can be simplified further to get the simplest ratio. What we do is we divide by the smallest number. We get 1:1. Oops, sorry. No, we get 1:1 there. So what does it mean? It means you have 1 Mg2 plus and 1 O2 minus. The formula is just going to be MgO. So that white solid there is actually MgO, and the name for it is called magnesium oxide. Okay, so what happens is the magnesium steals the oxygen, it reacts the oxygen, the magnesium gains oxygen, and you form magnesium oxide, which contains oxygen. So the magnesium has undergone oxidation. So name the substance. They don't want formula, they want name the substance. If you read the question, they do not want formula. If you write down formula, that means you haven't read the question. So it's the oxygen in the A that reacts with the magnesium. The compound is an oxide because it's already a compound. It is different chemical composition from the starting material. This is a chemical change. Redox reaction is chemical change. Name the white solid. The white solid is now the magnesium oxide, which is already a compound. So magnesium oxide there. There's meant to be no space between the sium and the magne, so it's just the element name. And this is a compound of oxygen and magnesium, is called magnesium oxide. Now some of the white solid, this is magnesium oxide, and you shake it with water. So metal oxides in general, especially for group 1 and group 2, metal oxides from group 1 and group 2 are what you call basic oxide, and you will learn more about this in year 10 or year 11 acids and bases topic, depending on how our progress is this year. You might or might not cover this. But why is that? Well, because they dissolve in water. So MgO dissolve in water to give you alkaline solution, or to form, or to produce, or to give alkaline, or you can say basic solution. Alkaline or basic solution means they contains OH minus ion. OH minus ion is what you call hydroxide ion, and hydroxide ions are basically the one where the pH is greater than 7, because pH 7 is what you call neutral. pH lesser than 7 is your acidic, as a result of H+, and then this is due to OH minus, pH greater than 7, so it's got to be pH 9 there. because that's what happened. I'm just going to show you MgO plus H2O. Not that you need it for this question. You get magnesium hydroxide. The equation is balanced. Guess what? This contains Mg2 plus and it contains OH minus and OH minus. How in the world do I get the formula? Well, you look at the valency. Again, this is a year 9 concept under chemical formula. The charges is 2, the charges is minus 1, so just take down that charges, the value of it. When you crisscross, you get 1 to the left and 2 to the right. 1 to the left means 1 of these Mg2 plus, 2 on the right means you have OH minus and OH minus. Well, when you simplify, you have 1 Mg2 plus, you have 2 of that OH. It's not OH without the bracket because it's 2 oxygen and 2 hydrogen. This is the proper formula for magnesium hydroxide, and you know the meaning of this bracket because we did it in year 9 chemical formula. So again and again, year 9 concept gets carried forward to year 10 and year 11. In this next question, we have a reaction B. We have this thing called mercury oxide. So mercury is a poisonous metal, it's a poisonous element, but it's mercury oxide. And you have this thing where you test for it. After you heat the mercury oxide, you get this glowing splint relights. Remember that glowing splint is without the flame. So, glowing splint is just the flicker. It has just got the remaining flicker, meaning to say it doesn't have the fire going. That is glowing splint, but it relights. It gets back into active flame, active fire. So what is this? This is a test for oxygen gas. Oxygen exists as this diatomic molecule. So the formula of oxygen gas present in the air as the 21% of air mixture is actually O2 molecule, which is diatomic element consisting of only one type of atoms in this molecule. Now they don't want the formula, they want name the gas. As you know, in the syllabus, the last bit in the lecture tutorial, talk about the test for these gas, test for oxygen using a glowing splint. Glowing splint relights if and only if oxygen is present. Now they want you to do a word equation. Word equation basically means use word. There's no need to write balance equation. So mercury oxide, what do you get? You get oxygen gas just by heating mercury oxide. So that means you lose the oxygen, and guess what do we get? We will get just the mercury remaining because they basically split up into the element on its own. So underline the type of reaction which best describe reaction B. It cannot be neutralization, which is reaction between an acid and a base. That is called neutralization, where pH is lesser than 7, pH greater than 7 due to the presence of this hydroxide ion, and then pH is less than 7 due to the presence of these hydrogen ions. So it's hydrogen ions. Sometimes they also call this a proton. Not that you use it that much in combined science, but you call it hydrogen ion there. So it cannot be neutralization because it's just one substance on its own. It is not combustion because no reaction with oxygen. So the mercury oxide is not reacting with oxygen to give you oxygen because, there's oxygen in the air. So the glowing splint relights not because of the oxygen in the air, but because of the oxygen that comes from decomposing this mercury oxide, that comes from reacting this mercury oxide, that comes from the chemical change that this mercury oxide undergoes. So it cannot be combustion, nor reaction with oxygen in the air. It is the oxygen that comes from this reaction, from the compound itself, the oxygen that actually supports the combustion, that actually relights the glowing splint there. And the best answer is decomposition. The instruction was underlined. If you read the question, it's not circle, it's not highlighting, it's underlined. So I'm underlining decomposition there to address or to answer this particular 1-mark question. That's it really for this short tutorial number 3. It's the last tutorial for this combined science work on redox changes. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to click the button on the bottom right to subscribe to my channel and share the channel widely with other people whom you think the channel might be useful for. Alright, so follow me at ptet.chemistry across all the popular social media platforms to get connected, and I'll see you in the next tutorial video.